Welcome to Sappy Hour, brought to you by Intelligent Change. I hope you guys like my shirt. This is a pajama top, but I think it looks cool. Really excited to dive back into Sappy Hotline this week. Usually weekly, I'll go and surf and listen to a few different voicemails, but I listened to this one first and I was like, that's the one. That is the one. And before we dive into it, sometimes life doesn't just change. What happens is things just completely fall apart, and our lives, especially with relationships, are just turned on their head. It's not anything like the future you imagined. You had it all planned out to be with this person, and then, you've been with them for a long time, and then it just ends. And what happens when this goes down in life is we're left stuck. We're trying to reflect and figure out what happened. How did this happen? And that's what today's voicemail is about. A young man just getting out of a 4.5-year relationship with who he thought was the love of his life. And he wants my feedback on it. And so that's what I'm going to give him. And it might not be the feedback that he expected, but I think it will be the feedback that will help him and help you if you are in a spot like this. Sometimes it's really hard to take accountability when we are very hurt, and especially when we've been hurt by someone. I think the evolution and change happens when we can peel back the layers and really see what's going on. So not only can we, figure out what happened, but then we can really reflect with ourselves and the caller to see if this is something that maybe we're dealing with and why this even happened, so that moving forward, we can be the people that we know we're supposed to be. I think with a lot of these calls, it is relationship advice. And no matter what any caller really says, I think what everyone's looking for is a happy life, joy, a partner, a good relationship. And sometimes we have to go through these hard breakups and these heartbreaks for us to finally get honest with ourselves so that we can make the changes internally that are going to help us moving forward. Sometimes people are in our lives temporarily as a teacher, as a lesson. And that sucks to say, because a lot of times we're in these relationships and we think that they're a forever thing. I always like to take it back to ourselves. Yes, we can point the finger and we can blame. And I do think that within this voicemail, there is some blame to throw, but pointing the finger and blaming is not going to change us. And if we can change, then we can attract what is for us. So I'm very excited about this episode. Let's dive in.
Hey, JB. So basically, I just got out of a 4.5-year relationship. At first, it was a her decision. I didn't agree with it. Obviously, I'm completely heartbroken over it. But the more I sat back and looked back on it, I realized it's kind of a her and I decision, and I'm in agreement with it, but not fully. So there's a lot of confusion that's lying right now on me, a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension. So just a little background. Started dating in 2021, first 2 years of relationship, amazing. Seemed like nothing could bother us. Fast forward to 2023. That summer we went on vacation, had an amazing time. And then we get back on a Friday, and that Monday she texts me that she wants to break up. Feel like things weren't working. Within that week we were broken up. We still remained in contact, talked, kind of just held on, and then something happened, trust got broken. I forgave her for it. We worked past it. Then fast forward for today. And in August of this year, she had wrote me a letter explaining the things that were bothering her. I was just feeling like that I was disconnected from her, that, I wasn't loving her the way she wanted to be loved. So obviously I started making changes immediately when she told me that. So about another month goes by. It seems like things are starting to look up for us. In the beginning of September, so she told me, she was still feeling the same way, feeling like we're disconnected. I tried asking her, like, what are the things I can do to change that? What are, like, what am I lacking as a man in your relationship or our relationship? And she couldn't give me an answer. All she told me was, I've done everything I could have done in a relationship. She loves me, but she feels out of love with me. And, so then ultimately, she ended things, and I went and got my stuff. I gave her stuff, and we've been on no contact ever since. So just looking for a little bit of insight, what's your opinion on it? What's your opinion on, should I be holding on, or, what to do in this time? And, at this point, I feel like my entire life just got flipped upside down. But anyways, if you listen to this, thank you.
I know you're heartbroken, bro. Let me just do a quick recap. So 4.5 years together, first 2 years, amazing. She breaks up with you. You guys stay in contact. She breaks your trust. You forgive her. She then writes you a letter. You start changing things immediately. You ask, what am I lacking as a man? She can't give you an answer. She's not in love with you anymore. And then here recently, that breakup happens and it's over for good. No contact. And here we are. I think I got that right. These things hurt. And for everyone listening, not everyone listening is a man. Not everyone listening is in the exact same position as he is. But all of us listening have been in a situation or are in a situation that probably feels the same. Heavily rejected, hurt, confused. I thought I gave everything I could. I don't understand. I thought we were good for one another. What did I do? Rejection is a sucky thing, but it's also something that can bring us some new knowledge about ourselves. And here's the thing. In every call that we do, it's, there's been some, but like I said in the intro, we're not going to focus on her. We're going to focus on you. We're not going to focus on them. We're going to focus on ourselves. Because that's where change happens. And things happen in our life, not to us, but for us. And I know you hear that and you're like, shut the fuck up. Please, JB, just shut up. I truly believe things happen for us. And just because things happen for us doesn't mean that it doesn't suck and that we wish it didn't happen. There's a lot of things that have happened for me that have sucked. But looking back now, I'm glad they happened. And I truly wish you well. And I truly think if we can get some things right internally here, you're going to find the person of your dreams. Sometimes in the pursuit of a relationship like this, and in the pursuit of anything, we can lose ourselves. And what I'm going to go into is I'm going to go into 6 steps for reflection, because that's what you need right now is reflection. If we can get really honest with ourselves and we can really reflect and see what's going on, then things are going to start to change externally. When we change things internally, things begin to change externally. And there's some things that I'm going to say that might sting, but I only do that because I believe in you. Not only that, but I understand you because I've been there. And if we don't face these things within us, if we don't look at ourselves in the mirror, things will never change. And we're here on earth to evolve, to change, to bring ourselves to a higher place. And I want you to know that this is coming from love. Again, sometimes in the pursuit of something like this, we lose ourselves. we lose our voice, we lose our self-trust, we lose our peace, we lose our confidence, because these things, it's everything to us. That relationship is everything to you. And when things start to fall apart, you turn into panic mode. And so let's talk about this real quick. Step one with reflection is let's just get honest, man. Let's get really, really honest. And I'm going to help you get honest, because sometimes there's blind spots in these situations that we can't see because we've been so into the scenario. There's been times in my life where I think, I don't understand, but people can come in and see based on a conversation, hey, JB, you're lacking here and here and here. And that's what my hope is for this, is to help you see where you're lacking, so that you can get more honest with yourself. And here's the truth. You were in a relationship with this girl 4.5 years. The first 2 years were good. Things started to change. She started to fall out of love with you. At the same time, you began to panic. You began to lose your voice. You began to forget who you were because she was your everything. And what happens in these scenarios, and this is complete honesty, is that based on the voicemail, there is a lot of anxiousness, there's a lot of desperation in your voice and probably throughout this relationship. Now, I might be wrong. And I want to say again, you seem like an amazing, amazing guy. You seem like a bright guy. You seem like a person that I would want to be friends with. But somewhere along the way, your priority changed from you first to her first. And your lifeline and your center of gravity changed from you to her. And when that happens, that person, that thing, becomes the air that we breathe. And what that's called in psychology or whatever is anxious attachment. And we've talked about anxious attachment here before in another podcast, but I want to really dive into it on this one. And what that is hyper activating strategies for you to continue to have her in your life as that lifeline, as that lifeblood, as that oxygen. Clinging, fixing. You said something in the voicemail that was, you said, what do I need to do? I'm going to fix it right now. I'm going to fix it right now. What am I lacking as a man? What do I need to do? Do you feel that urgency? Do you feel that anxiety? When you put someone on a pedestal in your life that isn't supposed to be on that pedestal, you stop treating them like a person and start treating them like you cannot breathe without them. And that is, in this sense, anxious attachment. Again, clingy, fixing, let me fix it. Over-explaining, chasing reassurance. I'm guessing the last 2.5 years have been that. You doing everything in your power to try and bring some type of reassurance to yourself. And the issue with this is not you doing that. The issue with this is the motivation behind it. Yes, you loved her. Yes, she was everything to you. Yeah, and that's what a girl wants. That's what anyone in a relationship wants, is they want someone to love them with their whole heart. The issue is not that. The issue is the motivation behind how you're acting. Again, I can tell you're a great dude, but your motivation is anxious. Your motivation is fearful. And what happens in these scenarios, and again, this is step one, and we're just being honest, because we have to reflect together. What happens is when we get into this mind frame where we lose our center of gravity does not revolve around us, our own soul, our own self-confidence, is their reassurance is everything to us. Us being connected to them is everything to us. And deeper than that, it's because we're motivated from fear that we're going to lose them. Abandonment. We're going to lose them. And what happens in these scenarios is you're attracting what you fear the most, because your fear is what is controlling your actions. We attract what we fear the most because the fear is motivating our actions. It is okay to fear. It's okay to have doubt. But when that fear becomes your why, and it's very easy for that to happen, for fear to become our why, you begin attracting in life. So we have to be very reflective in life on why we're doing what we're doing. Now, she broke your trust. There's things that happened in the relationship that sparked this anxious attachment. You know, I'm sure the relationship started healthy. I'm sure the relationship started with you feeling, you know, good about you and good about her, and some toxic things happened throughout it. You weren't getting the reassurance that you needed badly. She probably, you said that she broke your trust, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm guessing what happened, and I think everyone else probably is guessing the same thing. And then it turned into an all-out panic show. And I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying she had a huge hand in this too. But the honesty here, then what we're trying to figure out here is how do I understand what happened so that this does not happen again to me? How can I have a clear picture in a mirror for myself so that I understand what happened and what I was doing? Here's the truth. Energy does not lie. In my life, I held myself the same way. That's why I can spot it, is because I was living from fear. I was living from lack. I did not believe I was good enough. I did not want to be abandoned. I didn't want to be left alone. And everything that I did came from that motivation. And the only way to change that motivation is to become aware of it, which is what we're doing right now. Your motivation for this relationship, and probably not just this relationship, but probably a good amount of your life, is coming from, I am not enough. I need someone else's reassurance. They cannot leave. I am going to fix it. I'm going to change myself. I'm going to be a chameleon. I'm going to do anything that I can do to keep this connection. That is the honest truth. And I don't know her. I don't know that relationship. I don't know what all happened. But based off of the call and based off of me just hearing it, you have been bringing anxiety into places that need peace. And as a man and as a human, as anyone, if we want to have healthy, loving relationships, we have to do the internal work to be able to bring peace into relationships. Here's the beautiful thing, is the way that you gain peace moving forward is through going through something like this. The way that you gain peace is walking through chaos, is walking through this fear, is walking through. And so there's nothing wrong with you. This is just a part of your path. This is just a part of how it goes. This is a part of you learning what it means to be confident and loving in yourself and have, trusting yourself and understanding your worth. The issue with this relationship, obviously outside of what she did, was your lack of self-love towards yourself. Was your lack of self-assurance. Was your anxious attachment. Was your anxiety and nervousness that you were bringing to this. And again, energy does not lie. If we bring a desperate, anxious energy into a relationship because of that motivation of fear, we will attract what we have prayed not to happen. And that's what's happened, man. That is what's happened. So I say all this because we have to figure out why, and we have to be honest, and we have to begin to fix these things in us. And understanding where you're at is going to help you know where to go. And when we're in these situations, we're up in the air. We don't know anything. We feel lost. And so that's what I'm saying. So let me recap this. Step 1 is get honest. And here's the honest truth. You have brought anxiety into a relationship that has called for your peace. You were anxiously attached to her. She made mistakes and broke your trust, and these things magnified that lack of self-love in you and lack of self-assurance in you, and it got worse. And your motivation in this relationship, and probably in other areas of your life, has been a lack of confidence and a lot of fear. And when we act from those places, we attract the nightmare. We attract the nightmare. This isn't all just about you either. Like the last couple weeks for me have been, I realized I was bringing a lot of lack into situations. And I realized that like I would wake up and I would just have this pit in my stomach because I started believing a lie again. And it's like, it's crazy because it can come back so fast, this lack mentality, this fearful mentality. And I had to say, look, JB, come on. Everything that I need is already within me, and everything that you need is already within you. And sometimes we go into bot mode, NPC mode. We turn into robots and forget all the things that we've learned, and we just let life destroy us. And we just accept the anxiety and we accept these feelings, and we continue to bring anxiousness and fear into situations, and it's unattractive. It's unattractive. People feel your energy. It does not lie. And so you have to get honest with yourself, because that unattractiveness is causing that lack of attraction in the people around you, whether it be your job, this girl, this relationship. And so you are attracting that because it's what you feel about yourself deep, deep down. And this isn't some crazy wound that you have to like deep dive into and do all this EMDR therapy and all. No, it's an awareness thing. Hey, I am bringing a ton of fear into my relationships. I'm bringing a ton of fear into my job, into my, me and my wife, into, dealing with whatever it might be in your life. And it hurts us more than anything that we could do. And I had to step back last week and I was like, man, I need to take myself back to when I was at my lowest, at a point like you're at right now. And I had to say, listen, I have to stop outputting this frequency into the world, because I'm putting this frequency out and no one wants to be connected to me right now because I suck to be around. And that's just the truth. And so I talked about it a little bit last week on my podcast, but this is where you have to tune back into, am I doing things from love or am I doing things from fear? If you can get this figured out, relationships in your life are going to change, because you're going to attract what's for you. What is for you will be for you when you stop bringing fear to the table. That fear is not real. That fear is just a belief that was woven into you over the years. And I don't know how that happened, from scenarios to how people acted to things people said, but you're letting that control you at a subconscious level. And I'm not saying that if you would have brought confidence into the situation that this wouldn't have turned out the way. Things happen because they happen. It isn't, damn, I wish I would have changed this up because, maybe we would still be together. No, dude, no. She broke your trust. No. You are worth a lot. And if she broke your trust in the way that I think she broke your trust, and how she's been treating you since, the last 2.5 years, man, I understand that you loved her and you loved her and you probably still do love her, but you're worth a lot more than that. And although that you've brought fear into the situation, this is a lesson. It's a lesson. And the reason that you're so stuck on this is because of all the time that you spent together, yes, but also because you're still living in lack. And that lack is saying, there is no one else for me. I cannot believe I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. That lack, that fear is controlling you. And so again, I don't know the ins and outs of your relationship. This is a guesstimate. I'm guessing. But based off the phone call, that's what I hear. And that energy is very, 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 very powerful. And the world calls for your confidence. The world calls for your self-assurance. The world is calling for you to stand up and be who you are because you know who you are. And this relationship and this situation stripped that from you because you let it. And we've all been in positions to where we've let that happen. And this right now and where you're at right now is, your life feels upside down right now. You said that in the voicemail, but things fall apart because they need to fall back into place. And the most important thing in your life is out of place right now, which is your relationship with you, your confidence in you, your level of love towards yourself, etc. You know what I'm getting at. And so these painful things happen to create a mirror for us to realize where we've been off so that we then can correct that. And awareness will fix it. Because here's the thing. Again, I said it earlier. We have blind spots when we're so deep in it. You're not deep in it anymore. Well, you probably are still deep in it in your mind, but now that you have someone telling you, hey, this is what has happened, that awareness level can come back, and then you can bring love instead of fear. Both of you hold responsibility. It's a two-person relationship. And I'm not saying, hey, man, it's you. You did this. No, I'm saying, hey, man, I'm so sorry that happened, but if you can tweak this, life's going to be different moving forward. So all of this is from love. And so let's go on to step 2. You know the honest truth. Step 2 is break the cycle of anxiety, break the cycle of panic, break the cycle of fear. Love cannot breathe when anxiety is driving. Love cannot breathe when panic is driving. Love cannot breathe when fear is driving. You're going to have to get very in touch with your motivations, which means you're going to have to go deeper in your thought process and awareness of life. When I was in rehab, we had this round circle group, and it was all these guys sitting in this circle, and this guy came in, I can't even remember his name, but he said the most important thing is your level of attentiveness and awareness, your intention. And all of us have the ability to have intentions. A lot of times we're dealing with these things and we feel like it's just such a hard fix. And I believe this more than anything, that everything that you need is within you. Simplicity is what breaks patterns, not complexity. And so I'm not saying, hey man, do this. No, I'm saying, listen, we've told the truth. You have been living in fear. And what has happened is that you've attracted your nightmare because of that fear. Now we're saying it's time to break that cycle, because you're going to have a good life and attract what is for you. And the way that you do that is through intention. It means that you're going to slow down. I know it feels like you want to reach for everything right now. You want to reach and text her. You want to reach and fix this. You want to reach and fill this void in you. But you're healing, and the way to stop this pattern is by slowing down. Resisting rush. Resisting the urge of urgency. And you're going to start getting in tune with your truest self and your deepest intentions. And you're going to start pausing before you start making decisions. You're going to start pausing before you speak. You're going to start pausing, and you're going to start to feel yourself and understand where things are coming from. Is it coming from panic, anxiety, fear, or is this coming from love and truth and peace? And you can start practicing that right now in your life. Why am I doing what I am doing? Who's in control here? You are. And so that is how you begin to break that cycle of panic and anxiety, is by taking back control. And it's a practice. You're still going to make decisions sometimes out of panic and fear. You're still going to react and not respond, but you have to slow down. And when you slow down, you stop trying to fix and you start beginning to face. And that is step 3. You heal by facing yourself. Research on attachment anxiety shows that anxious individuals often resort to hyperfixed behavior, overcorrecting, people-pleasing, or self-erasing to hold on to connection. These strategies erode the very security they're meant to preserve. No more fixing. No more self-erasing. Because that is what you've been doing for 2.5 years. No more of it. Face this. And the only way that you face this is by slowing down. Stop. Goodness is on the way. The emptiness that you feel is only temporary. All of the things outside of you externally that are calling your name and putting fear into you to act and to fix, maybe not even in this relationship, that is eroding you. It's eroding you. Only you can control what you can control right now. And what you can control is what we're talking about. Facing this fear within you, facing the truth that's within you, facing this panic that's been calling the shots. Good things are coming. What is for you will not miss. But there's been a disconnect with you and your intuition. There's been a disconnect with you and your identity. There's been a disconnect. And you don't have to do all this shit to get reconnected. All you have to do is slow down and hear you and begin to sort where motivation is coming from. If it's fear, you're not going to act from it. If it's love, you're going to act from it. This is what will help you understand if you have a motivation of fear or love. Fear feels like a bully. That feeling in your stomach, it's a push. You feel like you're getting pushed. You have to do this, do it now. Lack urgency. Like you're getting pushed off of a cliff. You better do this right now. You have to fix this. That is a motivation of fear. A motivation of love is a friend. It's a pull. Go with the pull and not the push. Love will lead you gently. It'll feel like a lazy river. I like to say it like that. It's peaceful. You know that there's peace behind it. You know that you're not making this decision out of a place of you have to do it right now, and if you don't do it, no, you're making this decision from a place of abundance and fullness. I know that this has nothing to do with the answer that you were hoping for. And I hope that that's okay. When I was at my darkest place dealing with the same feelings that you are dealing with right now, but it had to do with the different, with drugs and stuff like that. It wasn't about me and going to get sober. It was about me learning to hear love again. It was about me learning to reconnect with me again because I had lost myself in the pursuit of chasing after something else or someone else. And that's why I'm saying all this, man, is like the key to life is about learning to hear you again. And the reason that we get into these shitty situations that we're in is because in those situations, we learn to hear something other than the voice that leads us the right way. Things are so chaotic that we forget what it means to tune into ourselves. And when we forget what it means to tune into ourselves and we don't hear that voice anymore, then that means we are truly lost. Because that voice within us shows us where to go. That voice within us shows us what to feel in these moments and leads us into the correct place. And so whether it be a relationship like this or whether it be a situation, whatever anyone's listening to right now, I know that this has nothing to do with what you called in about, but this is just the truth. It's the deepest thing that we can hit on that can actually bring change and not put the power in anyone else's hands. The power is in your hands. I don't have all the answers of the universe, and I never will, but I have my answers. A lot of us are going through life thinking that we are so messed up when really we're just out of tune with ourselves. And if you can get back into tune with yourself and face that fear within And it doesn't even have to be a scary thing. When I say face that fear, sometimes I'm like, dang, that's scary. No, all you're doing is sorting motivation. Is it pushing me or is it pulling me? Am I buying into this fear, into this lie? Am I buying into this lack mindset? Or am I buying into the truth? And these things don't just happen overnight. It's a practice. You have to learn to practice to trust that voice of love, to trust your deepest, truest self, your future you, the intuition, God, whatever you want to call it. And that voice will lead you and help you put things back together better than they were before, and lead you and attract you and lead you to the right place. And not only that, while you're on the way, it will attract to you what is for you. That is the secret of it all. You being in tune with you. How do you do that? Step 1, being honest. Step 2, becoming aware of that. And now we're on step 3, facing that. Okay? Step 4 is let grief and growth sit together. Pain doesn't cancel growth. They grow side by side. You can grow and still be in pain. You can miss her, miss that, miss whatever it is in your life that you're dealing with, and also choose joy. And also choose to be excited because now you're back in tune with yourself. Your heart is big enough to hold both, to grieve and to grow. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that while these hurtful things can bring suffering, it can also spark new clarity, deeper values, stronger resilience. Growth doesn't arrive after the grief is gone. It arrives with it. You are meant to carry a multitude of emotions within you because you were built for that. Sometimes I think that we feel like, okay, well, right now it's just time for, and yeah, there's a time for everything. There's a time to truly grieve. There's a time to truly grow. But when you're in this middle ground where it's like, I don't know what to do and I'm lost, you are able to hold that grief and that growth. You're not a fraud for wanting to grow and wanting to grieve. You can do both at the same time. And so there is going to be pain from these last 4.5 years that you're still going to have to sort through. And although you might be in tune with yourself, you're still going to feel that pain. And you're going to wish that you could do things over again or whatever it might be. But at the same time, because we are humans and we have this ability to hold all of these things and hold space for ourselves, you're also going to begin to get excited about your life. You're going to begin to get excited about the new you that you're bringing forward, that you're not in that place anymore where you were, where everything was led by fear. I believe in you. I truly do. And your heart is big enough to hold 2 things at once, 3 things at once, 4 things at once. And just because grief and growth seem opposite, really, they come from the same place. You can't grow unless you grieve, and you can't grieve without growing. And so don't overthink this complexity because it's not that complex. It's just that you're still working through it. Don't turn it off, work through it, but also grow. You don't have to be stuck just to grieve. You can also begin moving forward. You can also begin living your life again. Sometimes I hate talking about rehab because like, I'm not the sober guy, you know, I'm not the guy that's like, hey guys, I was an addict. But like when I was in rehab for 90 days, I grew more than any other time in my life. At the same time, I was having to have the hardest conversations of all time with my wife, with my parents, with my little brothers. A lot of grief, a lot of tears, a lot of, unforgiveness towards myself, working through resentments, but I was growing. Growth is a weird thing. Grief is a weird thing. Character development is a weird thing. Learning how to tune back into yourself is a weird thing. There's so much noise. And it's just weird. It's weird that I have to grieve and grow at the same time. But it's how it works. And you're built for it. You're built for it. And you can do it. And you are right where you need to be. Yes, there is loss. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, you're going to agree. You are right where you need to be. Because this is teaching you to tune back in to you and get those motivations right. I feel like Eminem right now. And get those motivations right to move forward. You have an awesome life ahead of you. And I wish the best for you, and I wish the best for that girl. And here's the thing that you can sleep on. If you are in tune with you, what is for you will be for you. So that means you're not going to try and control anything outside of you right now because it's not yours to control. Those relationships, none of it. You are controlling your attunement with you. You are controlling what you're listening to within you. You're controlling your motivations. You're controlling your level of grief and your level of growth. That's what you're doing. Everything else will work out and the path will clear. You will be taken exactly to where you're supposed to. I know it sounds woo-woo. It does. But that is, I'm telling you right now, you get in tune with you, this pain will turn into a miracle. And you will have a confidence that you did not have before. And you will have a self-trust that you did not have before. Practice diving in. Practice listening in to you. Step 5 is ride the waves without shame. As you're tuning into you and as you're on this road of recovery, of grief and growth, sometimes guilt's going to pop up. Sometimes shame's going to pop up. You're going to feel like, damn it, why, guilt and shame is going to get you nowhere. Guilt and shame, if we're going off what I'm saying, is rooted in that fear mindset. There are things that you will see as you're growing and as you're in tune with yourself that you wish you would have been able to do different in that relationship in life. I still deal with this in certain areas of my relationship with my wife early on, in decisions that I made and how I acted. I still deal with this sometimes guilt and shame with, football and me playing at a high level and me failing. I failed 3 fucking drug tests. Like, come on, dumbass. When are you going to stop smoking weed? So yeah, I have some clarity now, and there's shame that can take the driver's seat sometimes, and it sucks. I'll be honest, it sucks. But I cannot let that shame and that feeling, the feeling, that icky, that feeling of just like, oh, my stomach is tight. Why the hell did I fail 3 drug tests? What am I doing? I'm feeling it right now. You have to ride the wave without shame. You are entering into, remember Nemo when like the turtle's like, bro, dude, what are they in? They're, you know what I'm talking about. And it just shoots them all the way to freaking Australia. When you tune into yourself, you are getting on the freaking highway to your purpose, your destiny. And when you're on the way and you're in tune with you, that clarity will be very clear. And you'll be like, damn, why did I bring all this fear into that? What if we were still together? What if I was playing in the NFL right now? I could have played in the NFL if I would have stopped smoking weed. If I wasn't so fearful. But things will begin to show themselves. Again, as you're on this highway going towards yourself, going towards your purpose, you're going to start gaining what is for you, becoming who you're supposed to be. And that voice is going to just take you there. And even with that shame or that urgency or that lack is going to come back in. And it's going to start being like, you're a dumbass. You know, you're stupid. Whatever it would say to you, I don't know. That's what it says to me. And again, you're going to have to turn that fear down, because what that's going to want to make you do is start again making decisions and motivations out of that fear, out of that shame, out of that guilt. And tune right back into that love. I'm going where I'm supposed to go. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Things have worked out the way that they are. I'm not perfect, but there's a divine plan for my life. I'm not supposed to be an NFL football player. And I probably shouldn't have smoked so much weed. It was fun though. And so that's what you're going to have to deal with as you're moving forward, is you're going to have to ride the waves without the shame. You're going to feel the shame, think it through, love on that shame. All that is that just a little kid in you that wants reassurance. Give that shame reassurance of who's in charge. Meet that shame with loving confidence. Don't let that lack of feeling like you're missing out on that FOMO and what things could have been. Yeah, they could have been, but where you're going is what's supposed to be. And then the last step for you of reflection and getting back where you're supposed to be is carry the daily compass. In everything that you do, and we've covered this, in everything that you do, am I bringing peace or anxiety into this situation? Am I bringing peace and anxiety into the relationship with myself? Am I bringing peace and anxiety into this world, into these situations, whatever it might be? Stability does not come from perfection, but emotional regulation. I saw this quote that said, the most successful people in the world are the ones that can regulate, emotionally regulate. And what that means is can tune in back into that love, can tune in back to those good motivations, can tune back into that confidence, even when some shit happens that throws you off course or punches you for a second. Don't just carry attention and intention right now in the pain. Carry that intention as you go. If you can stay connected to that love, to that motivation in you, to that confidence in you, good things are coming. Good thing, like just stay and create practices for that. Now, I talked about it last week with on the podcast, but one thing that I've been doing on the daily is I'll do breath work. Breath work is what really helps me. And like, I've never done breath work up until as of late, but like breath work really helps me. And then I sit there for 10 minutes. I ask my intuition that, what do you want to tell me today? I ask God that, what do you want to tell me today? The last 2 days, you know what God's told me? I'm proud of you. And I haven't been too proud of myself the last 2 days. And I've had to learn to receive that. And I'll say, well, okay. And then I set my intention. Well, if God and my intuition told me that they're proud of me, my intention is that I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm going to carry myself in a way that is confident, that is proud. Because God told me, because my intuition told me. Carry your daily compass, whatever that means for you, whatever you need to put into place to find that center of gravity within you, to find that connection and attunement with you. What you're going through is not easy. What other people are going through that are listening to this is not easy, but it'll be worth it. Because these situations turn us back to ourselves. I'm sorry that all this happened. I'm sorry that you've gone through this, but this is a lesson, a beautiful lesson and a painful lesson. And you can be honest with yourself because now you see it. You can break that cycle of fear. You can shift from fixing to just facing it. You can let grief and growth sit together. You can ride the waves without shame, and you can carry that daily compass. And what is for you is going to find you, I promise. It just doesn't feel like it right now. Get back in line with you, and things are going to change. Would love for you guys to grab my book, Sappy Medium. I actually wrote this in a time of grief and growth, and I really like it. I'll read a quote real quick, and it's a letter. Dear Mr. Chaos, although I have questions about your method, I deeply appreciate you directing them towards me, your friend, Mr. Peace. P.S. Without you, Mr. Chaos, there is no me. And that is something I learned in the depth of my chaos, just like you're going through right now. Chaos has methods that put us into a freaking panic attack, which is what this situation was for you and what a lot of us are going through right now. But if we can slow down like I'm talking about and reconnect with that peace within us, then we have to learn to thank the chaos because it sent us back home. If you want to grab the book, the link is in the description, and we're doing 10% off right now. So it's Sappy Hour 10. If you use that code, you'll get 10% off. I'd love for you guys to check it out and order it. You guys are awesome. And if you want to call in, leave a voicemail. It's 888-444-9461. Would love for you to call in. I would love to be able to take the time to answer you with whatever it is that you're going through. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.